What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner. And you see I got my serious face on. Reason is I'm going to have to go in on SOFTCORE Van Jones, or Van's SOFTCORE Jones, or however you want to pronounce it. Doesn't matter which order you put his name in, long as SOFTCORE is involved. Now, SOFTCORE right here has the nerve to attempt to bash the president's State of the Union for whatever reason, I don't know. Van SOFTCORE Jones was part of, prison reform, I guess. They let him come in, sometime to reach out. You extend an olive branch to who you know is really the enemy, who is potentially a mole that's coming in on the inside, somebody who will get a chance to work with you and see your side of you and still yet come out and make claims like this as if he has not interacted with the president or people around him long enough to know that the president isn't coming up with these policies because he's evil and he hates anybody that's not white and Anglo-Saxon, because that goes against the whole narrative of prison reform. Most people affected by that are minorities. So Van Jones here, after the State of the Union, I don't know, maybe they gave him a bonus to say bad things or be the opposition to anything positive that the president said. Okay, but nonetheless, he comes out with these ridiculous responses. And I just couldn't let it go. I know it's been almost a week now gone by, and I've been seeing little flashes and clips of it. And every time I have to say to myself, note to self, destroy Van Jones SOFTCORE Van Jones, or Van SOFTCORE Jones. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what order it is, long as SOFTCORE's in there. Let's get it started.
I see it very, very differently.
I bet you do.
I saw this as a psychotically incoherent speech with cookies and dog poop.
Okay.
He tries to...
Now, listen to the drastic language this man. Psychotic. So you're telling me then that the overwhelming positive response that people had towards the president's State of the Union, all of us that saw this and gave high percentages of it, could not recognize psychotic behavior. Now, all of a sudden, Van SOFTCORE Jones here is a psychologist or a psychiatrist. So he's saying it was psychotic, meaning that for whatever reason, you are, sadistic. You like to see people hurt. You're crazy. You're all over the place. You're dangerous. You're potentially violent. You might be even schizophrenic, just psychotic. We don't know what his diagnosis is. I don't know what elements of psychosis Van Jones is trying to sprinkle into the minds of all of the American voters who watched with their own eyes and said, what is he talking about? That's not what I watched. I watched the whole thing and I didn't think I was talking to Hannibal Lecter. That's all I'm saying. He wasn't in there going, hello, audience. Come closer, audience. He didn't say that. He didn't say anything like that. But Van SOFTCORE Jones here seems to think that his message was psychotic. What else he says? Let's see. Let's go back a little bit.
I see it very, very differently. Mm-hmm. I saw this as a psychotically incoherent speech.
Oh, incoherent. Okay. So that means that the president wasn't aware of his own thoughts and he wasn't putting it all together, synchronized. It wasn't in no order. It was just random. He wasn't even really there when he was talking. He was incoherent, like as if you were to have a blackout after being drunk, or, you're just waking up and you're not really in your right mind. You start saying stuff like, I'm going to bake a gingerbread house. I'm on my way to get the groceries. That's incoherent, okay? Meaning you're not quite in your complete state of mind. So Van Jones here first diagnosed the president as psychotic, but then follows up with incoherent. He wasn't aware of it. He wasn't quite there. Apparently he must have been incoherent when he was writing the speech because he didn't freestyle it. Or he must have been incoherent, when discussing with whoever helped him write the speech or whatever. Were they incoherent? Was what we heard incoherent? Did it sound like random chaos and nonsense like CNN and MSNBC constantly spews out? Stuff that makes no sense. Saw somebody on there the other day trying to explain why the governor in West Virginia dressed up in blackface. And this dude on MSNBC responds and said, I think this is a product of President Trump and the rhetoric that he is spewing. It's an undertone. It's an undertone underneath where racism is just could bubble up. And this current administration is really ignited that. And I'm thinking to myself, is this man not aware that the discussion, the topic, was about the governor in blackface, which took place in 1984? How, in this context, is Donald Trump responsible for this man taking a photo wearing blackface? Did you backdate the racism? Is that what you're saying? Did the racism from Donald Trump and the rhetoric go back in time to impact his decision-making all those years ago? Or did you assume that an incoherent, crazy statement like that will go right over the head of the people who watch y'all station? That's what it is. It's like, you know what? They're looking for reasons to tie Donald Trump to everything. So let's give them what they want, even if it makes no sense. See, that stuff is psychotic. Along with the lady that came right after him and said, yeah, because you know what? There's children out there right now that's afraid because they're hearing other children say, build that wall. What references are you referring to? What children? How many of these children are there? You know, who are the children screaming, build that wall? A lot of children don't even know anything about it. All I'm saying. But you can throw a statement like that makes no sense out there. Always coming out of the liberal media, along with responses like this, who is trying to get us to think and convince us that what we saw and heard was crazy. I mean, he's trying to now run interference and say, hey, listen, I know this doesn't make any practical sense. And what Donald Trump said was very coherent, very practical, very logical, well thought out, wonderful presentation, crossed over the aisle, gave solutions, gave justification of why certain policies need to be implemented, all of that stuff. But I'm going to now try to make it seem like none of that made sense. It was scattered all over the place. And here's why, okay, according to Van Jones. All right, so let's hear
it. And dog poop. He tries to put together
dog poop? Wait a minute. I know this man just didn't bring up dog poop.
As a psychotically incoherent speech with cookies and dog poop. He tries to put together in the same speech.
So wait, he is describing the full-blown Democratic Party and liberal media. Every commentator, cookies and dog poop. No, you know what? I'm not even gonna give him cookies. It's straight dog poop. All of the Democratic speakers, congressmen, congresswomen, always just straight dog poop. That's it. They don't even add the cookies. Just straight dog poop. But let's hear the rest.
These warm, kind things about humanitarianism and caring about children. At the same time, he is demonizing people who are immigrants in a way that was appalling.
Demonizing child trafficking.
No, hold on a second.
See, there were people. See, here it is. Let's go back. Matter of fact, let's go back. Let's see. I'm gonna show y'all the trick that SOFTCORE Jones just tried to do.
People
ready? Here it comes.
Are immigrants in a way that was appalling.
Okay, now you hear that? Demonizing people that are immigrants. What is the key word that he left out, boys and girls? Illegal. See, that's the key. They want to mix words. They want to go ahead and conflate the terminology. They want to make sure that you, as the viewer, can't comprehend the difference between illegal immigrants and legal immigrants. The president was talking about the effects of illegal immigration and how it impacts the home team. Van Jones, SOFTCORE. This guy right here, he wants you to think that there's no difference. When President Trump was addressing illegal immigration, he was demonizing all immigrants. Yeah, he's demonizing immigrants and so on. And so there were people in the audience that were not one legal immigrant in the audience should be offended. In fact, he congratulated some of the people who came and did it the right way. In fact, people who came and did it the right way are upset because people like SOFTCORE Van Jones, Van SOFTCORE Jones, or Van Jones SOFTCORE, this dude right here runs interference for illegal immigrations. See, he doesn't want order. He doesn't want the law. He doesn't want any of those things. And the left, whenever they want to make something not seem as bad, they soften the terminology, they change the terminology, or what they'll do is conflate it. They'll just throw it in the pot with all the rest, sort of like when President Trump called them the fake news. Well, when they respond to that, they say he's up here calling all of the news stations fake news and says that we're the enemy of the people. Well, see, once again, they leave off one word. See, they're trying to put themselves in the pot with the real news stations. You're not in there. No, no. See, you're the fake news that he was referring to. So let's keep it defined and confined to the fake news. That's what I'm saying. Just like illegal immigration. Need to be confined to illegal immigration. But Van Jones, softcore, Van Jones, softcore Jones, don't want y'all to know that though. See, so let's continue.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. There were people in that gallery who were children who have been torn away from their mothers at the border. He did not.
First of all, whose responsibility are those children? I'm just curious. I don't understand. First of all, the way the left always makes it seem like the rip, just torn away, rip, for no cause, no reason. And not to mention all of the kids that get separated from their mother because they're not with their real mothers or fathers. So due process says, hey, buddy, you're coming in our country illegally. We're going to have to sort some things out. We'll put you someplace. We'll take the kid, put this kid someplace till we work this out. Sometimes you even find out, softcore Van Jones, that ain't even a real parent. And then do you just give the kid back to some random human that says, yeah, I'm his dad, right? I'm your dad, right? Looking at him when kid turns around or the patrol officer turns his head, he'd probably be like, yes, he's my dad, he's me papa. Yeah, see, so to sort that stuff out, you need protocol. Hey, I'm sorry, you go over there, let's find out what's going on here. All right. But secondly, even if they were ripped away from their mothers, as they like to put it, whose fault is that? Kevin goes and decides, I'm going to rob a bank with my 5-year-old in the back seat, and the fuzz catches up with me. I can't be talking about, no, I'm not getting out the car because I don't want you to rip my children from my arms. I chose to rob that bank, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's all on my shoulders. But Van Jones, he doesn't understand that. He's making it seem like they were over in their own country, minding their own business. In America, Border Patrol just decided to invade Honduras or wherever and grab their children and rip them from them. See, yeah, that's what he wants y'all to think.
Mention them. There were soldiers who were transgender who have been thrown out of the military. He didn't mention them. There are people.
So was that a topic that he was supposed to come up with? I mean, he gave a policy that was opposite to whatever agenda they're pushing. And remember, if you're already in the military and you've gone through the procedure where you're not going to burden the tax dollars for you going through whatever procedure, you're good. You're grandfathered in. Okay. He's not talking about people that's in there right now. I don't know where he's getting this from. You know, they thrown out of the military. Well, you come into the military as Kev, and I want to come out as Kivana. All right. Is it up to the military to pay for all of that? And then as I'm going through it, if I can't go to war at that time, they're like, well, dude, we're about to go off to war. You ready? Ooh, you know what? I just started my pills and my transformation. They told me I have to lay low for a couple months until everything. No. Nobody wants to hear that. All right. If I can't get in with flat feet or, you know, if I'm nearsighted or all the little things that they reject people for, if you know that's your goal and objective, you want to go through that transformation, do it on your own time. Once it's done, then go from there. But if you're in, you're in. Van Jones wants him to, I guess, create a policy and then have empathy for the people who fall into the category of whatever policy was created. So now if he says, I want stronger borders, then I guess he wants him to say, we're against illegal immigration. I want stronger borders. However, we do have kids in here that are victims of us having a weak border and being torn away from their mothers. We want to recognize them. See, that's what Van Jones wants to do. Unlike the Democrats, I guess they don't do it, when they give speeches about people wanting a better life and we're here to create unity and embrace people of all colors and stuff like that. Why don't they bring up parents who their kids were killed by illegal immigrants? Why don't they bring up all of the negative effects of illegal immigration? They don't bring that up in their speeches, Van Softcore. See, that's all I'm saying. So Van Softcore Jones here is disingenuous. Let's finish.
They're veterans. He's talking about veterans. There are veterans who he has thrown out of this country who are dreamers. He did not mention them. And he didn't say one time.
Okay, now, see, once again, you come up with statements but you don't give details. You don't give any type of reference point. Just throw stuff out. There are veterans that's been thrown out of this country. Can we get the actual case that happened and then some details? See, don't just say somebody was thrown out. Most of the time that people get their butts thrown out or something like that, there's a backdrop story to it that they don't want us to know. Okay, so for Van Jones to throw these statements out there, you're going to have to fill us in on a little more details. But let's continue.
Listen, if you want to talk about the people he could have mentioned,
so he's not mentioning is a bad speech. He's supposed to mention everybody you want him to mention.
No. Listen, if you're going to talk about immigration, you're going to talk about undocumented people. Then talk
and
about
make his case.
No, hold on a second. And talk about the one who drowned saving people in Houston after the storm. Talk about the people who've given their lives to this country. You guys see this very differently. You're looking at it from the point of view.
I gotta just talk to Wolf because we
Anderson Cooper tries to break it up because Rick Santorum or something like that. He wasn't holding it down well enough. And, of course, CNN gives, their commentators the right to spew out all types of vomit. But he goes into this whole ending about, if you're going to talk about illegal immigrants, let's talk about the ones that died down there saving people from drowning. Who did the illegal immigrant save? Was he saving his own kids? Was he saving a family member or just some random people? Not only that, I'm sure there are illegal immigrants here that do wonderful, wonderful things and would risk their life for people. That doesn't negate the fact that they're illegal. See, so for you to bring up a fact like that or a situation like that, but then don't want to talk about MS-13, who, if you watched a couple days ago, just killed somebody in the subway. Don't want to talk about the old parents that was in their house, and I think it was Nevada, and legal immigrant came in and just killed them. Don't want to talk about that, huh, Van Jones? Yeah. See, you want to focus on the warm and fuzzy stuff, but let's just say this. Let's just say that we went and we talked about all the wonderful, wonderful things that illegal immigrants that are here have done. Great. Still, what that got to do with this? What does that have to do with illegal immigration? Because every single one of those wonderful people still came in the country illegal. SOFTCORE. So now my question becomes, do you just say because of all the good illegal immigrants, we're just going to go ahead and turn our backs on our borders and on all the Americans that are affected by the bad ones? Yeah, we're going to let the good ones just overshadow the bad ones and overshadow our Constitution and our laws and all of that stuff. Let's just go ahead and rip down the fences, get rid of all the borders and all of that stuff. And because just on the fact that some and a lot of them are good, then that's going to justify the rest of them for just coming over here and doing whatever they want to do, or the bad ones for hurting people that are here. That's what basically he's trying to convince us of with that silly, stupid argument. So I didn't want to have to do that to SOFTCORE, but he brought it on himself when he got up there with his list. Yes, see, this was a speech that was mixed with cookies and dog poop. I'm like, you know what? Sound like you got a bunch of dog poop in your mouth when you're talking, okay? Pronounce your words, Van SOFTCORE Jones. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. I didn't want that to get that physical. I was just trying to make a point, but Van, he takes me there, man. Always. He's so sensitive. Anyway, looking out for everybody but us. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, find me every Wednesday, 7:30, live in Kevin's Corner on YouTube, and also on my live radio blog talk show. And don't forget to check out Extreme Teas. Love their products. You will love them too. Go down. There's a link in the bottom. Click on that. Put my name in, Kevin, and you will get a discount, 20%. All right. And if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, there's a link in the bottom to do that as well. And don't forget to hit like, share, notification, and subscribe. And find me on Facebook and Twitter. And we'll see you next time in Kevin's Corner. God bless.